Apolice worker has been spared prison after he sent abhorrent sex videos to pedophile hunters posing as a 13-year-old girl online. Andrew Grimsted, 50, a resources coordinator at Hampshire Police, was caught by members of Justice for the Innocent after sending explicit messages and videos of himself performing a sex act to what he thought was an underage teenager. Grimsted, from Southampton, Hampshire, was confronted by the vigilante group who had travelled to his home before calling the police. He was handed a 36-month community order, which includes a requirement to carry out 100 hours of unpaid work. He was also made the subject of a sexual harm prevention order, but avoided jail time. The defendant was a civilian employee based at Southampton Central Police Station, Hampshire. In the video of his capture, the police worker said he was talking to half a dozen people online, though didn't specify their ages. Prosecuting Christopher Wing said the offences came to light after Grimsted went on the internet and thought he was communicating with young girls aged 13 or so. In fact, he was communicating with members of a vigilante pedophile hunters. They attended his address and detained him in the car park outside his home. Police were called, and he was arrested on suspicion of grooming a child. Justice for the Innocent filmed their confrontation and posted the footage online. Grimsted admitted 3 offences of attempting to cause a child to watch a sexual act and 3 of attempting to have sexual communication with a child. Richard Onslow, mitigating, said these offences were committed by a man of previous good character with a sensible job who ought to have known better. Fortunately, there was no actual child, so the harm is lower than it would have been had the full offence been carried out. Judge Gary Burrell QC described Grimsted's actions as abhorrent and said, "Sending moving images to people you believe to be young girls indicated something seriously wrong with your thinking." "You're of previous good character, and I'm required by law to take into account." Speaking after the case, a Hampshire Police spokesman said his role involved planning resources and did not involve any interaction with the general public. He remains suspended from the role and subject to ongoing gross misconduct procedures. Detective Superintendent Nigel Leckant, from Hampshire Constabulary's Professional Standards Department, added the investigation into Andrew Grimsted uncovered his attempts to exploit what he believed to be vulnerable children whilst he was off duty. Hampshire Constabulary expects the highest standards from its officers and staff and will take action against those who commit criminal offences or breach the standards of professional behaviour. Justice for the Innocent described the sentence as diabolical, saying Grimsted was in a position of trust and should have been jailed. A spokesman said the sentence fails to reflect the seriousness of his crimes and what could have happened had there been no intervention by a decoy.